Every empire falls. That is certain, no matter how long they reigned and how far their rule stretched. From the Romans who ruled for over 1,000 years, to the Ottomans who spanned continents, and the USSR that changed the political landscape of the modern world. So is the empire we're living under today also crumbling?
Yes. The key question is how fast.
We have bounties beyond those known to the people of any other day.
American democracy is obviously limping on both feet.
Episode 2. Sean Strickland gets knocked out by Russian fighter during sparring. Heated confrontation, reaction, MMA psycho.
This crowd stands against President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk.
We will not be silenced!
Their message is hands off.
Hands off! Hands off!
A protest against the administration's actions to cut government jobs, shutter agencies, deport immigrants, impose tariffs, and more.
I am concerned about people being kidnapped off the streets and shipped to hellhole prisons. I am concerned about our economy tanking. I'm concerned about the fact that we have a president who doesn't care about people.
Things are being defunded. People are losing their jobs. Just really terrible things are happening in this country.
A group of seniors in Edgewater can't make it downtown, so they protest in front of their retirement community.
Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey!
A nationwide movement of people who want the country to change its direction.
Where we are. You got people who are concerned in terms of where do we go from here.
You don't go nowhere. It's not your business.
What do you say to that activist, to that young person, to that elder who's saying, okay, what do I do for the next 4 years?
You can do nothing. You're not going to make 4 years. This country won't make 4 years. It's over.
Now, when you say it's over, what does that mean?
It means decline. The Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, all of them fell. Okay? All of them fell. You see it.
So what should we do? Because Jim over here talks about the resistance.
Please.
And the resistance with even going against Hitler.
Please.
Well.
Empires do not begin or end on a certain date, but they do end, and the West has not yet come to terms with its fading supremacy. At the end of every empire, under the guise of renewal, tribes, armies, and organizations appear and devour the heritage of the former superpower, often from within. In his essay, The Fate of Empires, the soldier, diplomat, and traveler Lieutenant General Sir John Glubb analyzed the life cycle of empires. He found remarkable similarities between them all. An empire lasts about 250 years, or 10 generations, from the early pioneers to the final conspicuous consumers who become a burden on the state. 6 ages defined the lifespan of an empire. The age of pioneers, the age of conquests, the age of commerce, the age of affluence, the age of intellect, ending with bread and circuses in the age of decadence. There are common features to every age of decadence. An undisciplined, overextended military, the conspicuous display of wealth, a massive disparity between rich and poor, a desire to live off a bloated state, and an obsession with sex. But perhaps the most notorious trait of all is the debasement of the currency. The United States and Great Britain both began on a gold or silver standard, long since abandoned. Rome was no different.
So it started on a principle that was very sound, and it was on a silver standard. But as it corrupted further and further and further, the Roman denarius got to the point where it was basically a copper coin, and they learned how to plate, and it was washed in silver, and in circulation the plating came off. And at the end, all the senators that really did at one time represent the people only were interested in representing how much wealth they could steal at the top.
Great empire wealth always dazzles, but beneath the surface, the unbridled desire for money, power, and material possessions means that duty and public service are replaced by leaders and citizens who scramble for the spoils.
Historically, all the signs of the demise of empire are beginning to develop. Some are more trenchant than others. This current financial and economic crisis, that sort of thing always accompanies the demise of empire.
The people of Rome were constantly being distracted by the gladiatorial events, and the politicians knew that they did this. Whenever there was unrest among the people, they had a huge event going on, and they created a new event with lots and lots of gladiators, and every day we're doing that. That is a common trait of declining empires. And so today in the United States, for example, you find a tremendous emphasis on all kinds of television programs that distract people from what's really going on. Sports is a big part of that, as it was in gladiator times. In essence, we've been lulled into a lethargy, and we've accepted it.
Just as our sports stars today earn vast sums, so did Roman charioteers. In the 2nd century, one by the name of Gaius Apuleius Diocles amassed a fortune of 35 million sesterces in prize money, equivalent to several $1 billion today. Strangely, perhaps, there's another profession that is disproportionately hallowed as an empire declines. The Romans, the Ottomans, and the Spanish all made celebrities of their chefs.
And this again is typifying the end of an empire, where things were so great, we have this last oomph of momentum that we used to be great, and we felt great, and we don't feel it anymore. So everyone is out searching for it. Well, maybe it's in the best food, or the best clothes, or the best music, or the best movies, or a reality TV show, or another magazine. But you can never get enough of what you don't need. What you need is a strong moral conviction that is pervasive throughout the society, and integrity reigns.
There's a vast apathy. There's a vast amoralism, even a political nature to it. That is to say, there are vast numbers of people who don't give a damn. And so there's this natural, I suppose, entropy. Any living organism, which an empire is, of course, over time dies. Question is, how does it die? Does it die in a violent cascade of events, or does it die over a long period of time?
The baby boomer generation were born into this age of decadence. Perhaps unwittingly, they've broken the unspoken intergenerational contract. Through unfettered consumerism, spiraling house prices, and a desire for eternal youth, the baby boomers have squandered future generations' inheritance.
My generation, the generation right after my generation, I think we forgot that little phrase in the preamble to our Constitution, which says, and our posterity. All of a sudden it became us, period.
The baby boom generation, which I'm a part of, has gone and done the biggest misallocation of capital in the history of mankind. We have had cheap oil, or cheap energy is a better way to phrase it. We've had an abundance of ideas, and we have chosen a system and perpetuated it that is probably one of the worst ways to use the blessings that were bestowed upon us. And we are going to pay a price for that.
Civil rights activist, comedian, Dick Gregory. How you doing, my brother?
I am fantastic, having fun.
Absolutely.
Feel good.
This path forward. This path forward. Folks are apoplectic, upset, mad, angry.
Anytime you vote for the lesser of the two evils, you evil yourself. That's how Hitler came to power. Okay? We don't see that. But you got to be evil. Here's a guy who rapes a woman once a month, another guy rapes a woman once a day, and you got to pick one to babysit for you. You're evil. And that's what our problem is we think we part of this government, and you're not.
Yes, sir.
We want to take the Democrats and Republicans.
Clinton, Bush, and Perot, do you see anybody you have an interest in voting for?
Hey, man, I say my prayers, and I'm a spiritual person. And I'm going to let God settle all this craziness and all this.
But we can't all do that, Eddie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm doing, man. You know, that's what I'm doing. I think it's a higher power than all of it. I think it's a higher power than government. I think it's a higher power than all of those things. And I've been let down personally. You feel let down, and you feel like you're a victim. I've had all that stuff in my life, you know. And I'm down with that higher power. That's who I get my vote.
But isn't that kind of like being a slave on the plantation and just singing and saying, Lord will make a way?
How you figure?
Just sing. And like, Lord will make a way instead of whipping some ass for voting.
But what's that going to accomplish by whipping some ass and voting?
It will accomplish more than just praying. I think prayer must be accompanied by some kind of action.
Oh, but see, that's if you feel that the government is doing things for you. You feel like the government is helping you out and doing things for you and has your best interest in hand.
That's why I'm going to vote, because I believe.
But have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt?
I'll just keep voting until I find somebody who has my interest.
Wait now. But who's tripping then? If you just going down in the booth and pulling this lever, and I'm singing, who's tripping? Who's to say what happens when you go pull a lever and they say, oh yeah, we counted the votes and there's this and who knows what goes on, man? You got. I know, but have nothing. Hey, Chief, you have nothing to do with any of it. Any of it. There's some cats that run this thing. I'm not doing this, and a lot of people gonna say, oh, he's crazy and rock the vote and all that. There are a bunch of cats that run this planet, and they just wait on the higher power to handle things. I mean, read your Bible. Read your Bible. Read your Bible. I read Revelations. They ain't say nothing about, thou shalt rock the vote.
Our problem is we think we part of this government, and you're not.
Yes, sir.
We want to take the Democrats and Republicans out.
What do you say to that activist, to that young person, to that elder who's saying, okay, what do I do for the next 4 years?
You can do nothing. You're not going to make 4 years. This country won't make 4 years. It's over.
Now, when you say it's over, what does that mean?
It means decline. The Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, all of them fell. Okay? All of them fell. You see it.
So what should we do?